Most people pick an AI model the same way they pick a search engine. They use whatever comes up first. But Claude, GPT, and Gemini aren't interchangeable. Each has distinct strengths and real weaknesses. Picking the wrong one for your task means worse results, sometimes dramatically worse. In 5 minutes, you'll have a simple framework for choosing the right model every time. First, the 3 models. Claude is built by Anthropic, a company focused on AI safety. The current flagship is Claude Sonnet, with Opus for the hardest tasks. GPT is built by OpenAI, the company that started the current AI wave. The current flagship is GPT-4o. Gemini is built by Google DeepMind. The current flagship is Gemini Ultra, with Gemini Pro as the workhorse. All 3 are large language models at roughly similar capability levels. The differences are in emphasis, design philosophy, and ecosystem. What's Claude best at? Long document analysis and summarization. Claude has a massive context window and handles nuance extremely well. Writing quality. Claude's prose is widely considered the most natural and least AI-sounding. Nuanced reasoning. Claude is particularly good at following complex multi-step instructions and staying consistent through them. Safety-sensitive tasks. Anthropic's constitutional AI approach makes Claude less likely to produce harmful content. If your task involves writing, long documents, or careful reasoning, Claude is usually the strongest choice. What's GPT best at? Ecosystem and integrations. GPT powers ChatGPT+, which has the widest range of plugins and third-party integrations. Coding with GitHub Copilot. If you're in the Microsoft GitHub ecosystem, GPT is deeply integrated. Broad general task range. GPT-4o handles most tasks competently and has the widest user base, meaning more community prompts and examples. Image generation. DALL-E3 integration makes it the easiest path to combine text and image work. If you live in the Microsoft or OpenAI ecosystem, GPT is the natural fit. What's Gemini best at? Google Workspace integration. Gemini is natively woven into Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and Meet. If your work lives in Google, Gemini is the obvious choice. Multimodal. Gemini was built from the ground up as a multimodal model and handles images, video, and audio alongside text. Search grounding. Gemini can draw on real-time Google search results, making it particularly good for current events questions and fact-checking tasks. If you're in the Google ecosystem or need strong multimodal capability, Gemini is the strongest choice. Here's the decision framework. First question: what ecosystem are you in? Microsoft or OpenAI? Use GPT. Google Workspace? Use Gemini. Neither? Use Claude as your default. Second question: what's the task? Writing or long doc analysis? Claude. Image generation or DALL-E? GPT. Real-time current events? Gemini. Coding with GitHub? GPT. Third question: does safety or nuance matter a lot? Yes, Claude. For professional work tasks specifically, writing reports, emails, analysis, Claude. Editing and polishing your writing, Claude.
Summarizing long document, Claude.
Building presentations in PowerPoint or Google Slides, GPT or Gemini respectively. Researching current events, Gemini. Drafting in Gmail or Google Docs, Gemini. Creating images for presentations, GPT. In practice, many professionals use Claude as their primary and switch to Gemini for anything Google Workspace native. For developers, general coding and debugging. All 3 are strong. Claude is particularly good at following complex instructions and reasoning through architecture decisions. GitHub Copilot with GPT-4 is the most integrated coding assistant. For building AI applications, Claude API if you need the best instruction following and safety. OpenAI API if you need the widest ecosystem and tooling. Gemini API if you're on Google Cloud or need strong multimodal. MCP, which we covered in the last episode, works with Claude natively. Here's the one thing to remember. There's no single best model. There's the right model for your task and ecosystem. If you've no strong ecosystem preference, Claude is the strongest default for professional writing, analysis, and nuanced reasoning. Add Gemini for Google Workspace tasks. Add GPT for image generation and the Microsoft ecosystem. Use all three where each is strongest. That's Claude versus GPT versus Gemini in 5 minutes. Subscribe to AI SkillSprint for one AI concept, explained simply every week. Next, what's AI hallucination? Why does it happen and how do you stop it?